Welcome, beautiful people, to Unscripted with Melissa Santillan. I want to welcome you to my second episode of my second season. Today, we will be having a co-host join us, who is Armando Cardenas. I also have a guest here with us. It is Alderman Isidro Barrios. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me today.
Well, we're happy to be here. I appreciate it. Isidro,
thank you, Melissa. That's excited. Thank you, Armando. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here with you.
Yeah, and I really appreciate the invitation that you asked me to co-host this. I'm happy to do that. But I also want to congratulate you on having this podcast, which is important as far as providing information to the community.
Yes, having this podcast is really important for our community because I want to shed light on positive people in our area, in our region. So you both are very positive people in the community, so I couldn't think of any better guest than to have you and to have you as my co-host.
Well, thank you for the invitation.
Thank you.
But this show is about Isidro Barrios, right? And Isidro, we really want the community to know you. You're the alderman of the 11th Ward. Correct? But
Correct.
Before we get into your duties of the 11th Ward, Alderman, there's a big responsibility. We would like to know a little bit about your background, your family, where you're from, how you wound up in Rockford, because we all have a story, right?
Yes.
We all have a story of how some of us were born here, maybe you.
Yes, I'm actually a Rockford native.
Okay.
So I was born and raised in Rockford.
But some of us are not. So I came from Texas, and you tell us about that.
Oh, well, thank you. And the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to thank God for the opportunity after the pandemic, the opportunity to be here again together with people. That's the first thing I want to thank the Lord. And thank you, guys. Yeah, I was born in Mexico in 1960. And then when I turned 18, I came to the United States. I enrolled in English education, GED. In 1981, I got married. I started working in construction in 1979.
What part of Mexico were you born?
Mexico, Zacatecas, Mexico.
Zacatecas. Okay.
And 1979, I started working in construction. Mm-hmm. So my background is 40 years of construction. I was a union carpenter. I bought my first house in Carpentersville, moved from Chicago, Illinois. That's where I met my lovely wife. So my first house was in 1987. I bought my first house in 1987. And then we always had a dream about establish a new business for the small ones, get the small ones enroll in some type of a business.
Yes.
So we start looking and thinking, and for some reason, I wound up in Rockford, 1997. We start looking all over, Aurora, Dixon, Beverly, but we wound up in Rockford for some reason.
Yeah.
Good place.
So
Something drew you here. Something did.
yeah, something did. Something brought me here. And, we bought the first building. There was an 8-story building with 2 storefronts, and our idea to start a business here in Rockford keep on my mind. So after I bought the first building at 1524, 1526, and 1528 Broadway,
Okay.
we had 8 apartments for rent. It's 2 storefronts. And the parking space wasn't big enough. We only had 5 parking spaces. So I had a problem. Mm-hmm. I had complaints from the tenants.
Yes.
Where I park.
Because they lived in the buildings.
They live in the building. Also, if they park the cars in the street, they get tickets. So I had a problem here that I had to solve. So instead of buying all the equipment and get everything enrolled for the business, we had a little discussion. My wife wants to put a storefront, like a candy store, like when we were living in Chicago.
Dulces.
Yeah, they have a nickel or they have a dime, and they go to the store. And they used to get, with 5 cents or 10 cents, they used to get a bunch of candy.
Yes.
So there was the idea of my wife to bring something like that to Rockford. Have a little candy store, little sandwich store for the community. And me, I want a restaurant. I want tacos. I say, hon, I want to open up a taco stand.
Yes.
$1, one taco. That's what we're going to worry about it. How many tacos we're going to sell is how many dollars we're going to get. But with the problem with no parking space, so I start looking to solve that problem.
Yeah.
It's how I bought another building. They had the parking space, and that was good. But now I don't have the money for put the business. I got another building, but I got no money for business. And eventually, with all that movement, me start looking how to establish a business in Rockford. I start meeting people. So we start getting friends. It's how I met Tofi Quiñones, and it's how I met Armando.
Yes.
To try to organize our community, try to organize the businesses, try to organize the neighborhoods, the people. And it's how we start thinking and talking and finding excuses to improve the neighborhoods and our businesses. And we've been trying. I know Armando's been trying more than me, but I really appreciate that the Lord, that I met Armando, like a person like Armando, like Tofi and others.
Yeah, because it does, in the community, it does, take a village to not only raise a child, but a business in the community, right? Because the community has to support the businesses that you have. So you can open a business, you can have an idea, but making sure that you have the community support is very, very important as well.
True. So you mentioned Mr. Tofi Quiñones, who passed away some time ago, and that led to a situation where you were named or appointed or voted to be the alderman for the 11th Ward, which Tofi was, correct?
Correct.
So can you tell us what that process was? I know that it takes a city council and the voting. How did that?
That's the people's choice. It's, back at the past, I was a county board. I served Winnebago County Board 2009 to 2012. So I have a background that I was, dealing with people. It's how we create El Barrio Community Center. Back in those days when people wants to talk to me, people wants to see me, I didn't have no place to meet with the people. And also I didn't have the time to take care of the people. So I started realizing that if I want to be in that position, I need to find the time to spend with the community, with the people, the investors. So it's how I opened my office. I was leasing that unit where now is my office. So I say, I got to get a space for the community. So I start getting a little more involved with the community. They want to come and talk to me about problems in the neighborhood. Investors, they want to come and invest in our area. So it's how I put that place there, and I start getting involved with the community. So always Tofi and I, we were, I was like his right-hand man or his friend or his close friend, however you want to call it. So we always talk back and forth about, his dreams, his jobs and everything. And he always inspired me to be a community person. In case he doesn't have enough time, I have the authority through the voice of the people to go and find out what they need or what they want or share the ideas. If Tofi wasn't available, then I was the person to talk. So it's how we start working together.
So you were helping him with his
job
duties.
Yeah, that was part of my duty to be a precinct committee person. 11 Ward has got 4 precincts, so I represent precinct 3.
I see.
Okay, so when we say wards, because we hear the term ward, we understand you're an alderman and you help do different things in the community. How is a ward figured out? How do they position different people, appoint people in different wards.
Okay, so the city about Rockford has got over 150,000 people.
Yes.
And is divided in 14 wards. And some wards, they have more territory than others. So everything is split by population. So like they try to keep like 11,000 citizens in each ward. So they look at the map and they also look at the population. So how can they going to divide the wards with the amount of people that is required in each ward? We don't want to have one ward with 10 people and another ward with 100,000 people.
Yes.
So that's why it's divided equally, almost equally, but it's pretty close.
Okay. So I guess I never understood that and how they determined that. You know, I thought the size of the ward was just done differently. It was just by certain areas, but it's not areas. It is the population.
It's the population.
And now I do understand how they figure that
They
out.
raise their borders.
Do they
Population.
change frequently, or does it?
It's the census. How often we have census? Every
Right.
10 years?
That's why they do the census.
Exactly.
Okay.
To get an idea how many people is in each town, in each county, in each state. So the same thing that we do with the state, divided by counties, so it's the same thing we do with the city, divided by wards.
So I grew up in a Latino family, and a lot of times we didn't participate in the census. So I wish more people would participate. And I believe now that we have more Latino presence on different boards and as in different positions, that maybe we can get that out there, that this is why we need the census. This is why we need to know how many people populate certain areas, because your vote does count, right? And
Every person counts. Every person. So if we have, let's say, 11 ward, we have 1,000 people that is not registered in the census. How are we going to know the quality of the education we got to provide? How we know the amount of commercial districts we need to provide? So that's why every person needs to be counted, because the services, to offer the services to the people.
yeah. And I think people they don't understand that portion of it. So like, I didn't understand it until you just explained it to me.
It's important. Not want to put you on the spot, but you do have an area which comprises the 11th ward, the boundaries, and so you, without getting too involved, I know that Broadway Street is correct, and 7th Street, but you have the boundaries. Can you give us kind of where they are with
It's a really good question. It's a really good question.
People
And
saying, which ward is he in? Do I live in his ward? So,
okay, first of all, we got the city of Rockford. If you have any questions, you can navigate internet, and then there is the map.
Yes.
There's a map that you can physically read the streets and avenues, and as the information is there. Illinois, rockfordillinois.gov.
okay.
But my boundaries for 11 Ward, to the west is Seminary Street, to the west.
Okay.
And then if we go north, it's going to go to North 2nd.
Okay.
And then we go east, and we're going to get on Charles Street. And Charles Street is going to go south on 11th. And then we're going to go east again at Woodruff.
Okay.
And then we're going to go south on 20.
So it's a big area. Different. It's sort of like a zig puzzle.
It's
And
a
then
puzzle piece.
when we go south, we're going to get on Harrison, and then we're going to go east. Harrison, Seminary, North 2nd, Charles, 20, and Harrison.
I see. So if you folks live there, then you represent their interest, and you're there to speak for their concerns or help them.
And again, that goes back many years. When people have questions, sometimes you're not familiar with the internet, or you physically see, like me, I like to make phone calls, so I like to pay visits.
Yeah.
But others, they communicating with different ways. So we start finding the communication, the way to communicate with people. So with the new technology and the old technology, we got to adapt. So it's all different ways that the people want to ask you a question or communicate with you, and you got to be ready. And then if you give the people good service, you give attention to them, and you're honest, you don't make up lies, you don't tell things that they're not going to happen, they know that you're really for the people.
Yeah. So you have El Barrio Community Center. So I know I've actually been there. I actually went last week, so I got to see it. And I was happy to see that you have a community center in your ward for people to go. And you have like an open door policy. As long as you're there, you meet with people and you listen to their concerns. And to me, that's amazing because I don't see a lot of people have an open door policy like you do.
Yes, thank you. And back then when we opened that community center, thanks to Winnebago County, and back, the representatives, that Christensen, Dave Peterson, and I can name so many people that they helped me, and they seen the need to keep communication between the citizens and the county.
Yes.
So that's why the reason they helped me. So during the process, I had a lot of people that give me ideas. And one of those ideas is, why don't you have a seminar? Bring the information to the people. And we start having seminars every month, like the chair department, and give several seminars about the gangs. How are young kids they involved in gangs? So recognizing the problem, now we got to find the solution.
Yes.
So they came and talk about anti-gangs prevention. Now people wants to know about the health department. How can apply for a permit for sell food? So we bring the health department. Now there is some people, they want to know how, in case of emergency, how to take care of the people that has got the emergency. So the first responder came. The fire department, how to do CPR. And also there's people, they want to navigate the internet. So we had computers for the people that wants to learn basic computer.
Just basic computer skills. That way they can learn how to send an email, how to transfer a file, like just things like that. That maybe, not everybody is accustomed to using a computer.
Or they just wanted to learn how to, use that piece of equipment.
Yeah.
So we had computers, and we had time that you can come and make sure that somebody was there. And we just continue. It's one of those things that you cannot stop. Sometimes, Armando, I feel tired. I feel that I had to do something private or something. But see, when people comes, he's a motivator. I'm going to tell you that right now. Every time he calls me, hey, Isidro, we got to do this. We got to do that. Sometimes I'm tired. I'm bored or whatever you want to call it. But his voice makes me keep going again.
Like you said, he's a motivator.
Yes, a motivator.
Like for this program, we said, Melissa has a program and she wants to interview. We want to interview you to get to know you. So the people can get to know you.
See, and I'm excited. I'm excited. You give me like vitamins.
Yeah.
And thank you to
Melissa, thank you to make it happen.
We want the community to know who you are as a person and who their new alderman is. So that was important to both of us, for sure.
Thank you.
Now that you're alderman, correct, there's a big responsibility. It's what you're talking about, being available for the people. You are in a couple of committees, correct? Can you tell us a little bit about those?
Okay, so I took the job that Tofi had. So he was in codes and regulations and liquor, tobacco and liquor. So those are the committees. This is my third week in the council. So those are the committees that I serve right now. Now in May all the committees are going to be reconsidered. So all the aldermen, they pick and choose the committees they want to serve.
I see.
So they go from 1 to 2 to 3. And they're going to analyze all those, the list, and they're going to analyze where these people can fit and where these people is going to be happy to serve.
Yes.
Because if you're going to serve in a committee, you got to like it. It's got to come from inside.
Yeah, it does.
So if I'm going to make you, every time Armando comes, I say, Armando, welcome to the center, but there is a mop and there is a broom. What about if he never used the mop and the broom? So he's not gonna go visit me and be happy with me. So it's how the committees work. They try to accommodate, where you like to be.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And where you can be a little more usable to the community.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, when does that happen? When is that?
It's going to reconsider in May.
In May.
In May.
Okay. It's around the corner then.
It's around the corner. And I don't know how long it's going to take the process. And then we're all going to sit and, even the same or different. But right now, those are
It'll be decided eventually.
Yeah, those are the departments that I'm working on.
Committees.
Codes and regulations and tobacco and liquor.
Tobacco and liquor, okay.
Oh, tobacco and liquor too.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, those are important. The other thing is that once you are seated as alderman, the meetings, I don't know, maybe for the general community, the meetings take place with the city council once a week, correct?
Yeah, once a week. They start at 5:30, and sometimes when there's not many things going on in the town, they can finish to 7:30, 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
But there's meeting like my first meeting. There was 10 o'clock, and we're still inside. We're still in there.
Yeah, and the community can attend. People can attend.
Yeah. Yes.
The city council, and it's a lot of people. I go to the city council once in a while when there's a special thing.
So it's open to the public. They can
It's open to the public.
Okay.
And there is open to the public. In each meeting, they have 40 speakers. So if you register your name, you have a concern or you have idea, you have the chance to speak, to the council.
You have a chance to say your piece if you need to say.
Yes, you have a chance.
Okay.
So how are we doing on time? We're doing okay?
We're doing good. The time is actually right there, so we're right on track.
Yes, because I wanted to go beyond now that you're seated. There's some, obviously, you're responsible for your ward, and you have some ideas for the future as to what you want to do for the community you represent. You had a very successful that you helped Tuffy with a last year with a parade and a festival, and I think you had mentioned something that might happen again this year. But can you tell us a little bit about what you want to do for the future? Help the people with businesses. I think you also said that you want to help people with businesses.
Thank you, Armando, for that question. And back in 2006. That's when we had the first parade and festival in Broadway. And you were part of it. You helped me get the premise with the Park District. You and your sister, Gloria. Thank you for that. So when we started the first parade and festival on September 2006, we did beautiful. We brought, a real good event for the community. The community respond. And then I had the idea about Cinco de Mayo. And we had the festival again on Cinco de Mayo. And then again, September 16 and Cinco de Mayo. And it's like everything else. Sometimes, things that go up and sometimes things go down. So for some reason, we didn't agree. All the committee, we didn't agree. So the best thing for me, I say, I'm not going to create arguments. I'm not going to go look for enemies. So the best thing for me to withdraw, to get away from that for a while. So I let it go. I give all the all the rights. Everything is under my name, and I give all the rights to others. I say, okay, you want it, you can have it, but I'm not going to become your enemy. I'm not going to become something negative for the community. I'm just going to go away for a little bit. And then during the process, the pandemic came, and so everything broke apart.
Everything stopped.
Everything stopped.
Everything stopped, yeah.
Now we got a new beginning. We start controlling the epidemic. Now we have a new beginning. And that's when people start coming to me and start telling me, now you got to start bringing the people out. They start showing the people confidence.
Yes.
They start showing the people that we can do it again. Life is going to go on. Life is beautiful. And Sophie and I always, had close relations and exchange ideas. And one day I told him, I said, hey, I used to call him compa. Hey, compa, let's do one more show for the last time. Because, see, I was going to retire from the carpenters, and I was thinking that I was going to go away, travel the world, and probably spend a little less time here in Rockford.
Yeah. Really?
So that was my idea. I said, I'm going to have the time, I'm going to have the money, so I just going to go away. But it's not that easy. I tried many times. And you know who brought me back? The grandbabies. I had 13 grandbabies.
Yeah.
So grandma doesn't want to stay too long away from the grandbaby.
Don't blame her.
No.
So the city of Rockford, the mayor, Tama Camara, they came with a new program, Forward for Fun. So this new program provide with some money to each ward, to each alderman, to find a project, to find a festival, to find something that can help get the community together again, start moving the economy, make the business strong again. So the program helps bring the confidence to the people. So if the city of Rockford is going to give you the money for a new program, there's something that you like. So I say, why not? Kofi told me the same night when they approved their program, Kofi called me and say, finally, you're going to have it your way. Let's do one more time. Let's do, one more parade festival. And then we did on August 13th, we did the parade festival. You were part of it also too,
Was that
Armando.
last year?
Yeah.
Okay.
For the first time, we were looking for new events, new ways to bring the people out and give them confidence.
So this parade and festival, so I'm assuming you had food vendors. I'm assuming I heard you say music, right? Did you have like a kids center for like the kids?
Okay, so we had bouncy houses.
Yeah.
We have that bull that, the kids ride, nice and soft. Park District brought a bunch of games. They brought a bunch of games and also vendors, for kids. They like ice cream. They have, corn. They have all tacos, all different over there. Yeah. And then also my wife put a tent with, the sponsors and the people participate in the parade and, the people that work in the county and then the city, the police department, the sheriff department. So they all had a chance to get free food, VIP tent. And if you didn't like that food there's all the, all the vendors,
And the route for the parade, as he was saying, I was part of that. And
who was in the parade?
Well, I was just going to say that it was businesses, anybody who volunteered for it. It was a lot of cars, a lot of parade participants. But Mr. Isidro says, I want you to take Mr. Quinones, Tuffy's dad, who's a World War II veteran. I want him to be like the parade marshal, like a front.
Wow.
Right? Mm-hmm. And I said, okay, do you have a convertible? And I said, I'm looking for a convertible. And I looked all over, and he says, I have one. He had a convertible. And so I was privileged to be right behind him. He was in a Humvee, correct? I was in a Humvee leading the parade, and it started right where Kishwaukee and Broadway, where the McDonald's is.
They intersect right there, so it started there.
And we started right there and went all the way east until we hit 11th Street. And 2 more blocks down. And what's the name of the park where the event was?
Key Malquist.
Yes, I know exactly where that is.
That's where the festival and the dance and the musica and the fandango.
That's where the party
Yes.
was.
So thanks to Isidro that, of course, helped Tuffy put it all together. And it was great, and we got to continue that tradition.
So now, this year... see, this is pretty much the City of Rockford event. And the name that we choose was 11th Ward due to Toffee. He brought, the resources. So I say, okay, you brought those resources. This is your ward. So this is going to be your name. So 11th Ward Parade Festival. So now we plan to have the same festival, but now bigger. Because now from August 13, we move it to September 16.
Okay.
Now, as you know, September 16 is Independence of Mexico.
Yes.
There is some countries in Central America and South America. They celebrate the same date. So we're going to try to get a better entertainment, get a better participation, and get a little more people to come and take a look in our ward. The potential that you got of open new business. There's a lot of people if you dream to have your own business, come close to us. Call me. We can help you with the paperwork. We can help you providing the idea of the location of the business that you want to open. So if you ever dream to open up a business, let's start talking about it.
The 11th Ward is a really big area, and there's a lot of business opportunities.
Oh, yeah. And right now, it's so sad. When I moved to Rockford 1997, Broadway, you couldn't find no empty store for rent. Everybody, was packed. 7th Street. There was unbelievable the amount of business that we had in that area. Mm-hmm. And now you go, there's so many empty storefronts. As said, that's why we want to try to get it going again.
Yeah, and if people want to become a part of the 11th Ward Festival and Parade this year, is it as simple as just kind of reaching out to you and say, I want to have my business in the parade. I want to be a part of it. I want to sponsor. Do you have things like that available for people who are not even in your ward? Maybe they just want to sponsor your ward.
Oh, yes. Yes. See, like last year we had elections, so we had a big participation, a large participation from, all the candidates that were running for re-election or new candidates. So they're always looking for ways to let the people know about what's going on in election time. So that, that brought a lot of participants from all those places. Yeah. And also, see, we have, Rockford is a union town, so we have the unions, so they participate. And also, now we got something big going on in our town, is Rockford Casino. So they want to participate. So there's always opportunity for others, and for us, that's grateful that they're going to come participate with us. Mm-hmm. They want to help us. It's great, and we hope that we do a better festival and bigger festival this year.
And it brings people together. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's the beauty of something like a festival and a parade, because it's unheard of. I mean, it's history. When have we ever heard that there was a parade on Broadway Street?
Yeah.
Usually the parades are East State, right? West State,
yes,
East State,
that's where I've always known them.
Correct?
Yes.
But you had the right idea last year, and so it brought the people in your ward and the community together. It brings the community just to share the beauty of music and coming together with a parade. So now you're thinking about having another one, which is great. Look forward to it.
And also, you gotta remember, when you do a festival, when you do a parade, it's not only for old people and not only for young kids. It's for everybody.
Yes.
Even the little babies, they love to go and start, chasing balls or start playing a new game, and so everything is available there. Or maybe there's people that they never try a taco.
Yeah.
Maybe they want to try a taco.
Get these kids off of their phones and devices and make them go out and talk to people and play.
Yes, I agree 100% with that.
When you said play, even at that festival, you had the members of the police department playing basketball with kids there.
That's awesome.
Because there's a little area there, right? Mm-hmm. So that's what you're talking about. You have the leaders and the police and the community come together. So that's what those events do for our community.
That's what community is, and that shows what community can be.
Yes,
exactly.
So,
correctly.
And this, see, for me, it's a great satisfaction to give something to this town. See, before, I always was in a hurry. Always come home, take a shower, have a meal, and then go back again. We work all over the state. Whatever the construction, whatever they build in a subdivision, or whatever they build in new homes or new factories or new bridges or new skyscrapers, that's where I was.
Because you were a carpenter.
Right. So I travel a lot. Now, the company it needs me someplace else. I'm in other states, in Louis, Vegas, so that's where I go. So I spend a lot of time outside Rockford. And see, when I was out there, there's members of the community, friends, family. They were taking care of my family. When I wasn't here, they were taking
traveling for work,
looking out for my family.
Yeah.
And now that I have the chance to give something back to the community, I do work with the heart. I come and, I do those festivals. My wife had the Halloween festival in Broadway, the Christmas festival. So there's time that I didn't have before. Now I have it.
Yes.
So I give it back to the community, be given to helping, get the kids off the tablets or telephones.
Yeah. And I think too, with technology, it's kind of taking our kids away from learning how to interact with people. So technology is good in some aspects, but in other aspects, you put them in a position where you have to talk face to face, and a lot of times they get very introvert. And I know sometimes I have to tell my children, put your devices down, we're going to go outside and play. Do you know what I mean?
That's
right. Whether you want to or not, we're going to go outside and play. Put those things away.
That's right.
Yeah.
And now that summer's here, you can, because when it's cold, it's hard to play out. But now we've got a great opportunity. Now we get
I'm excited about this.
Yeah, a great leader and a Hispanic, another Hispanic, of course, in the city council. Mm-hmm. And so it's a big responsibility, but I'm glad you're there because you're representing also not only your ward, but the Latino community.
Thank you. And I hope I be an inspiration for others, because the machine of time goes by so fast. If we don't prepare for these situations, we're going to lose everything that we gain. We're going to lose, spaces and, those public places, the benefits. So I hope I'm inspiration. I'm not the best, but I hope others that they're listening or they're watching, they say, I can do a better job than Barrios. So get prepared, get involved.
That's the thing, too. Get involved. Don't just say and criticize things going on in the city. If you want to make a change, you have to be a part of the change. That's what I've learned. Yeah.
See, that's what you're doing right now. You're part of the change. You bring in a better communication to our communities, to our people. And Armando, he's the master. He's the senior of all this. Because back then, him and Gloria had a section on TV.
Oh, yes.
La Vida Buena.
La Vida Buena.
Yeah.
So Armando knows all these things, back and forth, side
Armando's a legend.
Yeah, it's a legend.
Armando's a legend.
That's why I say every time Armando calls me, I get excited.
So do I. As soon as I see the number come up on my phone.
You say that, but I'm also excited about you and the others in the community who come out and have our same mindset.
Yes.
Our mindset is we're not just here with, and family's important, right?
Yes.
We want to keep but there's some of us who want to go beyond our family and help the community, right?
Yes.
And then we have that dedication and we stay with it. So you're helping the community, and I'm helping the community. And some people say, well, how can I get involved? So if we get more people involved, like us, the better. But if people don't want to get involved, that's okay. We're here. And so I really appreciate always working with people that are out helping.
That are like-minded.
Yes, we're like-minded, right? There's always needs.
And even if people don't want to be involved in the things that we're in, because we're involved in so many different things in the community.
Right.
All three of us are.
Right.
Support us. That's how they can help, right? It's we need community support. We need you to come out when we have the festivals, parades,
correct,
concerts, anything that we have going on that you can come out and support us in.
We need their support.
We do.
Necesitamos su apoyo. That's the right? Because without people and support, nothing happens, really.
And before I forget, Armando and we had a mission, and I hope you can help us with this mission.
Yes.
Alderman Tofi Quiñones spoke first to Armando, and then he looked at me, and then he say, you guys have a responsibility to do. Get the Spanish people that wants to run for position together.
Yeah.
And talk to them. Tell them, hey, we're here together. We got to work as a team. We don't care if it's Republican or Democrat or other independent or all different parties. Try to work together.
Try to unite everyone, unify everyone.
And Armando is going to give you a little more details because he physically gave that commandment to Armando.
Yes.
Do you want to explain a little bit, Armando?
We were talking at his office, and we were there, and we were talking about the results of the past election.
Yeah.
Not this one, but the one before, where some Latinos had ran for office.
Yes.
County Republicans and Democrats in Belvedere. And so many of the Hispanics that were running, they didn't win. Yes. Some did and some didn't. But when we met at Isidro's office, Tefe came back and he said, there's one thing that is very important for us to do if we're going to help our community. He says, if you're a Democrat Latino or a Republican Democrat or a Republican Latino, doesn't matter. We have to work together, right? Let's not criticize each other.
No.
Let's not condemn each other because that Latino, he's our blood, right? So la sangre. So if he's a Latino and he or she is running in the Democratic Party, help him. If he's a Latina in the Republican Party, help him. Then unite. The more you unite, the better for us. So that's what he said. So now some people out there say, no, I'm not going to help. I'm not going to help Republicans. I'm not going to help Democrats.
Yeah.
And that's if they want to do that. But specifically, he was saying as Latinos,
he wanted us all to unite.
All to unite together and support each other regardless of party.
So maybe it's something that we don't want that happen next week. But consider that. Maybe we have the chance to invite others and talk about the type of work that we can do together. Serve the community better and have better representation in those places.
That's correct.
And I definitely agree that we need a lot more Latino representation in all parties.
Exactly.
That's how we're going to make and be a part of the change that we're talking about. So even though it's discouraging, like, oh, you didn't win this election, doesn't mean you should stop. It doesn't mean you should bow down. It means you have to keep going. There's maybe another journey for you. Your journey's not done. I know my journey's not done. I'm just getting started. So,
Beautiful,
yes.
beautiful. I like to hear that.
Yes.
You represent the leaders of the younger Hispanic generation.
Yeah.
So you're bringing in new people. I mean, the people that run the studio is amazing what they're doing. What you were telling me, and so I really appreciate the invitation. I've enjoyed it.
And I've been inspired by mentors in my life, and you're one of my mentors.
Yes, and I've known you since you were a little girl. I know the public knows that. I know your mom, your grandma.
Yeah.
And so that's how far we go back.
Yeah, he's known me since I was a very, very little girl. So I remember him coming into my family's business. If those of you don't know, we own Guadalajara de Noche on South Main Street.
Yes.
Yes. 1118 South Main Street. I still remember the address.
It's so interesting story about how we met.
Yes.
That's another story though. But
yeah,
you were working with Moy at the Arts Council event.
And all of us are, him and I are both natives here, and, we connected on an event together, and we've been working together ever since, and then we ended up crossing paths with you, and it turned into a lot of good things, and we're still continuing on this journey that we're on together.
Yes.
Trying to make change.
That'll be another program. We'll talk about all the entertainment stuff.
All the entertainment stuff.
We want to be part of.
So, because I know my portion is definitely entertainment, arts, things like that. So that is my passion. And like you said, you want to be involved in something that you're passionate about. And to me, that's you have to love what you do. I remember my grandpa telling me this. God rest his soul, my grandfather. He told me, you will never work a day in your life if you love what you do.
Exactly.
Right? That's a statement that I'll never forget.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is so true.
Yeah.
I say the same thing. If you don't love what you do, let's say you're working and you're tired, you can come home, you hate what you do, that's not happiness.
No, that's not happiness.
So a very smart person told me years ago, my dad passed away, he said, there's two areas in your life that you will be happy. And if you got to have happiness in both areas.
Yeah.
And I said, what's that, Dad? He said, in your work. If you are happy at work and your profession, you're halfway happy.
Yeah.
Once you get married and you're happy at home, that's the other half. Mm-hmm. So if you're happy at home and you're happy at work, that's happiness, correct?
That's happiness.
So anyway, let's get back to you because I still have some questions to ask you.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. But just to make sure that people understand, what Armando says about liking what you do. That's how I put 40 years in construction.
Yeah.
You remember, we work outside and the heat, and winter the cold, and there is days that you're so wet and cold, but those 40 years they went by, and look at, I put my time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: what now? You're on the city council. You have a big responsibility. You have a lot of people that will probably be contacting you. It's a lot of work and time. What are your goals and plans, or what ideas do you have for your ward that maybe people should know that are watching?
Mm-hmm. It's a real good question. The first thing, I consider is taking what Alderman Quiñones had in mind. His dreams, take over his jobs, and the people, the things that he promised people. So those are the things that they're going on right now. So this what I'm working right now. The project, he's got so many streets that he's got to pave. I mean, that he had to pave, and sidewalks and alleys, and so this is what I'm going to continue. But I want to bring back, try to bring the economy back to Broadway. And how we're going to stimulate the economy? We need more businesses. We need more people that come and shop in our areas. So those is one of my dreams, bring the economy back to 11th Ward. New businesses and improve what we have.
And I think, too, because at the end of this segment, everyone's going to get some information about financial literacy for new entrepreneurs. This is very appropriate for me to be announcing this on this episode, because that goes along with what you're trying to do in your ward. So people who don't know how to start their new business can take this class from. At the end, there will be like a flyer and information with the date of this class going on from the company. It's SBDC, right? So, and it will actually give you kind of a blueprint how to start your own business. But they can also go to you for help as well if they have questions about how to open a business in your ward.
Correct.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So if you had so that's a goal.
That's a goal.
More businesses to be established in your ward. It's a process, but that's where the city can come in and you identify interested individuals who may want to open a storefront. Because I remember, you're right, years ago, all the storefronts were open. There were
Restaurants, storefronts, there was not an empty space there.
Yeah.
I remember that too, because like I said, I'm a Rockford native. I grew up here. I remember going and shopping there and eating there.
And then also another goal that I'm working on, know my area better. Which street needs a little bit more love than other ones. So which street is going to get my love?
Which means potholes filled?
Well, not only filled, but maybe new, right?
New roads. Yeah.
Because every year, each ward gets allowances. So they get so much money. So where are we going to spend the money?
Yeah.
Or who needs it the most?
Because I think the street situation is never going to stop. We're from the Midwest.
And see, the weather doesn't help. The changes of
the hot, cold.
The cold, and doesn't change our streets. And also, there are so many ways to approach the improvement of streets. Because the improvement, everything is about the material.
Yeah.
So if you use good material, those streets are going to last longer. Most of our streets, they've been more than 30 years, that they've been put in place. But now, one time I was talking to Chairman Christensen, and I was telling him that probably we're going to need a little more money to improve the materials that we use in the streets. And then he kind of looked at me that, what are you
talking about?
He didn't realize he was talking to a carpenter. Huh?
Yeah, I say, I know if that is street, they guarantee that a street for 10, 15 years. I know the way the street can last longer. 20 or 30 years. Or maybe I know the way that the street can last 100 years. But we need a little more money for the material. And then he looked at me and they said, Barrios, you're always telling me to produce more jobs. Now you're telling me to eliminate, the jobs. Say, what do you want? He said, if you improve the material on the streets, you're going to eliminate the jobs fixing the streets. So if we use a real good material, you're going to eliminate those jobs.
But then that opens opportunities to create new jobs. That's how I look at things. I always look at things glasses half full, not half empty. Yes.
So it's one of those things. It's just probably you take it as a joke, but that's real.
It is real.
That's real.
Yeah.
What it tells me is that you want to help improve the streets. And you have the background and the knowledge and the skill of what it takes. So the 11th Ward is very lucky
to have you.
Because
he was a carpenter. And I have to mention this. I can't stop thinking about it. Jesus was a carpenter.
How about that? Huh?
Yes.
Yes. But see, when you're talking about carpenter, I cannot explain the amount of skills that you need
to do that. Yeah.
See, because carpenters do carpet, carpenters do floor, carpenters do concrete, carpenters do skyscraper, carpenters do furniture.
Yeah.
So many things that a carpenter can do.
Yes.
It's not enough in one lifetime to know just a little bit about the carpentry trade.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Not enough. One lifetime is not enough. It's so much.
Yeah.
I only know one person that knew everything. He knew everything. Only one person, one carpenter or super carpenter, however you want to call it. It was Jesus.
Yeah.
Let me add something to what you just said. he is a true carpenter, because when we were doing the parade, right? Remember, I said, he's telling me everything's set. And somebody told me, he says, well, everything's set. I think Polo's a promoter, right?
Yes.
And he's got the bouncy houses and the business. He says, Polo, they said, we need a stage. We don't have a stage for the festival.
Did you build a stage?
Yes.
How did I know that? I'm like, you built the stage.
I said, and he said, don't worry, I'll build a stage. I'll build a stage. So he built the stage for the festival.
Yes.
That's how much he knows.
Yes.
And we remember we tried to find a stage. You called a few people,
places,
and see, you can find stages, but when you're talking about stage, it's thousands and thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
So we only allow so much money.
You had a budget.
We had a budget.
Yeah.
That was the first time we were doing that festival, so we had a
We're like,
budget.
we're not going to spend $1,000 on a stage, so we're going to build the stage.
And then Polo had a concern. He said, if we put the music, we put dances, we put everything in the floor, people are not going to be able to see. And it's not professional, Barrios. That's when I said, Polo, you want a stage? Just give me the size of the stage. And we built it. Now we got our own stage.
Yeah.
Now you don't need to run a stage from anybody.
Right?
That's
we got
awesome.
it.
Master Carpenter.
Yes. Well, I wanted to close the segment now. We're about at our hour point, and I wanted to thank both of you so much for being a part of Unscripted today. I really enjoyed having this conversation with you. I enjoyed getting to know you better, Isidro, and I can't wait for the community to see this so that they can get to know you the way that I've gotten to know you.
Thank you, Melissa, for having us, and thank you, Armando, for the invitation
for being here
and be part of it.
Yes. And I want to thank the Rockford Regional Hispanic Chamber of Commerce for sponsoring this Unscripted episode. And I also wanted to thank Rock Royal Studios for having us here. This is the location that I'm at, and Icon Visuals for directing and producing this entire show. So thank you, and good night.
Good night.
This episode is sponsored by the Rockford Regional Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. We would love to promote the Financial Literacy for Entrepreneurs class held by SBDC. The location of the class is 3301 North Mulford Road. The date and time is Thursday, May 4th from 5 to 6 p.m.